Hey, how are y'all doing? So, I did not record any trades today, but I was trying to over here. I was trying to record a short, but I just couldn't find anything that I thought was worth taking. But but anyway, I guess I'll just go through the day then. Um, yeah. So here we go. So I put my overnight highs here, which I was debating again between here and here. It does have more confirmation here, but it could easily be there. Basically, my plan was just to wait and see how prices react off of it later, which it ends up being here, and it never even goes up here. But but anyway, so we have a few legs down. I put my overnight low here, so I already had it here. I started trading around this area right here, but so basically it started off with prices going down towards the overnight low, and then we bounced early, and it leads to this first trade here, which it's not the best trade in the world, but there's a few things I want to mention about it. So the context is really really good on this trade. It's just the setup is not very good. But basically what I was thinking here is we bounced early, so that already means that there's more bulls than bears. So bounced early, that's a good sign for going long. And I noticed that every single swing was higher than the previous one, so clearly there's some bullish momentum here. And I was kind of thinking of this as a reversal pattern. Clearly it's not a perfect reversal pattern, but technically you do have this first entry short, second entry short failure, and that's not what I was exactly basing the trade off of. It was mainly just it's in an area for a reversal, which is the bounce off of the lows of a range, except we bounced early, so that's even better. We have every single swing being higher than the previous one, then a second entry long, breakout pullback, and then it does close out of the short term trend line, which I liked, but I also really liked how we had. And no matter how you draw it, it kind of seems like there's overshoots. I mean, it could just be here, but I feel like there's probably an overshoot anyway. So the context I really liked. I liked going for 1 to 2 because of the context, but that's definitely not a very easy trade to spot. I was even considering going for 1 to 1 because it looks. I didn't really like the setup. It was just the context that I thought was so perfect that I had to take it, and I went for 1 to 2. There wasn't much of a reason to go for less, so I just didn't want to go for less if I didn't have to. But I was looking at these, and I was thinking it'll probably just push through those, considering the bullish bias, the bullish momentum. So it didn't bother me too much going through that, but it's not like it was a full range. It was just some resistance that formed in the last few bars. So I didn't mind. But anyway, we have a break. We go into a range up here. We break out. It fails. This uptrend has a break, expecting a new high. We have the first push higher, and then here, I was looking at entering here, but I didn't want to. This short-term trend line kind of just made me want to wait on another entry, which we do get. We get a higher low. I was thinking of it as the second push higher for this uptrend. So, sorry, let me get that drawn right. So uptrend break, first attempt higher, then second leg higher. Except I'm entering on the higher low of the second attempt higher. So, I thought it was a pretty good trade. The context is good. I mean, it's right off. The EMA is holding, and even for this short-term trend right here, you get a break, first attempt higher, and then you're entering on the second attempt higher. So I think it looks pretty good, to be honest. 4 points, very nice. Now we reach the highs that I drew, which at first I thought they were here, but it confirmed it to me here when it just completely found a lot of resistance right there. But I couldn't find any shorts. I was looking for a short because that's obviously what you look for when you're at the overnight high. But it's really nothing. It just goes into a range. You get a breakout of these highs. You don't get a good setup though. It's just too big. There's no room for a good target. And yeah, really, at this point, what I was thinking is I just wanted it to rush through and give a reversal pattern, which technically it does because you have this double top here, and then a first entry long, second entry long, failure, except it didn't reach the EMA. It just wasn't a good enough setup for me to take, so I skipped it. But but either way, um, I'm glad I avoided this area. It wasn't a good area anyway. So anyway, we reverse down. We go into this downtrend, and then we get here to this next trade. And basically, what I was thinking about this trade was we had this downtrend, break, and 2 legs to a new low. So I was thinking the downtrend is played out, because when a downtrend gets a break and 2 legs to a new low, then downtrend's played out. That's just what happens. But basically, I also was thinking that this trend could be in play right here, this bigger trend. And so I was still thinking there could be a downtrend in play. But regardless, I looked at this downtrend playing out and then instantly get a reversal pattern. So I thought this looked really good context-wise, just because the downtrend played out, and then you get a first entry short, second entry short failure, rushing back above the EMA, except here's the thing, it closes below the EMA. And so when it closed below, I kind of started thinking, could that have been because of this bigger downtrend that could be in play? And so I was kind of just skeptical about the trade. I was thinking, if this downtrend is in play, then I would be going long too early. So I still thought the trade was good. And this trend here does have more confirmations than this one. This one doesn't even have 3 touches off the highs. So I was thinking that this trend is probably right. But because of it, I still didn't want to go for a big target, which even if I did go for 1 to 2 target, I still would have gotten out with 1 to 2. But I didn't think it was worth going for 1 to 2, just given the fact that this bigger downtrend could have been in play and that it closed below the EMA. So anyway, I still think it's a good looking trade. We go into this range, get it off these highs, these lows. After we have these 2 legs up and then push back down, that's kind of when the range becomes very clear. Here we push back to the highs. I don't think that that's worth taking. It's just a first entry. It barely closes inside of this uptrend. I don't know. I just don't really see a setup there. We do get this lower high, but I didn't take it just because it just doesn't look that perfect. I mean, it is the first attempt to make the new high of this uptrend, and if you look at the bars, you can see this uptrend break, first attempt higher, another pushback, and then a second attempt higher. So it's actually a hidden failed second entry, but I was just kind of worried to take it. It's really not that terrible of an entry, but you're entering kind of into congestion, which isn't that big of a deal, but that is telling you that the EMA is holding. So it did hold off the EMA a few times there, so that's kind of worrying. It just didn't look like an overall good trade to me, so I skipped it. But then I got to this trade, which is a loss, which is annoying considering it tapped my target twice and then went down and stopped me out. So, but yeah, here's the thing with this trade. What I determined was I was going for too big of a target given the context. So what I was thinking here was, let me draw that bigger downtrend. Because I was thinking, okay, what if this is valid? And I kind of started thinking it was valid. And how I saw this trade was downtrend, break, first attempt lower, and then second attempt lower. And so I was expecting it to be the failure of making a new low for the downtrend. And also being a breakout of this range, and most breakouts fail. Now, here's the thing. I think it's just... I think the reason that I didn't get out is because I think the downtrend is just still in play. Yeah, it didn't make a new low, but it does have these 2 attempts down. But I still think it was in play because this, when you zoom out, it kind of just looks like it has a break, and then this is just the 1 attempt. Because, obviously, at first when it got a break, it has this small attempt here, downtrend break, first attempt at a new low, then second attempt failure. But then you have to zoom out, and then you have to look at it on a bigger picture too. And so then I was thinking the downtrend break, first attempt lower, second attempt lower. But I kind of started thinking, wait, it kind of just broke and then went into this range, and then this is the first trend that actually breaks this structure of the range. So this is probably the first attempt lower, and then it does make a second measured leg down. So anyway, really I just think the context wasn't good enough to go for 1-2. I should have just gone for 1-1. And really, I don't think that I just don't think it was a very good area to enter at. So yeah, I think maybe for 1-1 it would have been fine, but 1-2 is just kind of a big target for a trade like this. So then we do make a new low here. I wasn't even, there's no good setup here, but even if there was, I wouldn't have wanted to buy because I really wanted to see bullish momentum before I buy again, which I buy next time I buy is here. But now look at the difference between these two trades. So this trade is, I'm buying after it's going down, another leg down, and then I buy. This one is after it's pushing up, and so this one I'm actually buying with the momentum. This one was expecting to catch a bottom, basically. And the context wasn't good enough to go for that big of a target. But here, the downtrend definitely played out. Downtrend, break, 2 clear legs back, and then it rushes above the EMA. And then you get this failed second entry here. So how I was thinking of it was uptrend, break, first attempt higher, and then I was entering on the second attempt to make a new high. It's not a failed second entry to the tick, obviously, but it looks like one on a bigger picture because uptrend break, entering on the second attempt higher. That's just basically what it is for a reversal pattern. So basically this trade is just a reversal pattern and a breakout of this range. And yes, I know my target was way above this range, but I was kind of thinking, well, if we're going to bounce this early, clearly there's some bulls. I mean, we bounced early here, and now we're bouncing early a second time. And we have a good reversal pattern, also a failed breakout. I was willing to go for 1-2 through this range. I mean, I just figured the context outweighed this resistance right here. But yeah, I was kind of nervous doing that. Like, let me show 1-1. 1-1 would have been 9 ticks, but I don't know. I just really thought the context was good enough to go past this range, and it just looked like we were reversing up from there. Is my point. But anyway, let me put that back to 1-2. So anyway, we go into this larger uptrend right here. I was kind of trying to draw that a couple of ways. I was trying to find something like this, but it didn't confirm. It overshot and then didn't confirm, so I don't even think that channel is valid, to be honest. But either way, we have this uptrend. Oh yes, and about this range, I just want to talk about this really fast. So the reason I don't have it extended past here is because it broke out, had a breakout pullback, and generally when a range has a breakout pullback, that's big enough. Like, this is a pretty decent sized range. It has a pretty decent sized breakout pullback. So what I'm thinking is that it's probably out of play at this point. So then I just don't extend it and don't even consider it into my next trades. But so yeah, that's how I do ranges a lot. But anyway, we go into this uptrend. We have a break. We go into this range, breakout. It fails. Most breakouts fail. We make this double top. We get a double bottom down here, and then when prices were around here, right before I started the video, I drew this range. Yeah, I don't really see any good trades. Like, I don't think that buying here is a really good trade. I mean, like, you wouldn't have this probably. I mean, you can clearly see it's making a double bottom, but, it is with the bias. It is a breakout. Most breakouts fail. I definitely wouldn't want to go 1-2 on that just because I don't really see much of a trade, and I don't really want to take a failed breakout, just after a move down, goes into a range, failed breakout. I don't know. I just didn't really see that as a good trade. But now that I'm looking at it right now, it actually doesn't look that bad. I kind of just probably thought it was bad because I didn't get it or whatever. But really, the downtrend does play out with a break and a new low. As long as you got room with 1-1, or at least it doesn't have to go too much higher, I think it's probably fine, actually. But yeah, and then it's making a double bottom. So yeah, I think that looks okay, actually. But here I was looking for a short. I couldn't find anything. I was concerned about this uptrend, and now it has a break, new high, and yeah, so this uptrend is played out now. But see, I guess that's the day. I hope I didn't miss anything. Hope I didn't skip over anything that I didn't notice or whatever. But anyway, I hope y'all had a good day. I had a really nice day today. I mean, this was really annoying. This was actually really tilting. Because it tapped it once, and then when it got all the way up there again, I was like, yeah, I'm sure it'll push through this time, and then it just bounced right off a second time. Yeah, that's very tilting, but you know, and it's all right. I mean, it basically just wiped out this trade here, and then I still have all these other ones. So anyway, but it was also I was waiting for a pretty good amount of time because I wanted to get a trade recording today. But anyway, hope y'all have a good day. Had a good day, and yeah, I guess I'll see you in the next video.